Morning, everybody. Sorry, running a little bit late. I'm going to get the screen up here in a second. Hope you're all doing well. Oki, Martin, Businessman, Sarah, Christopher, TH, Igor, JH, Cloud, Brett, good morning. Accidental, what's up? I don't understand why. There we go. All right. Should be up and running. Or at least you should be able to see it. So make sure the video is good. You can see it. Thank you, Will. So remind me, I believe there's a news event driver today, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe I'm wrong. That's a little interesting. I'm just trying to gauge how I want to engage today with that info. Well, I mean, just based off of these last several days and weeks, I mean, I've not performed the absolute greatest. I mean, I've had maybe a couple good trades since I've been live streaming, and I talked about that last night on live, or on the daily log. Is if you've ever been in drawdown, or if you've ever gone through a losing streak, it's very important to remember the times that you've done well, the times that you've brought yourself out of drawdown, because a lot of underconfidence steps in for me personally, especially with live streaming, being in like a public's eye, and you really have to go back in your memory or your journal, whatever it is, and look at the things that you've done well. And I've done so many things amazingly well. I've brought myself out of drawdown many times before. I've gone through losing streaks. And the only reason I'm saying this, I'm not saying this to hype myself up or anything. I'm just saying this for anybody who's going through drawdown or going through losing streaks and doesn't think it's normal. And it's a very difficult time to be in. It's very mentally taxing. I mean, even outside of trading, I'm constantly thinking about it. I'm constantly thinking about the things that I should be doing and improving on. But you also have to remember at the same time that as much as you have to embed this into your brain, it is part of variance. It's part of like the things that come with trading. It's just something that you're dished. You've been dished a streak of wins and dished a streak of losers. And people believe that a lot of that's in their control a lot of the time. I don't believe it's so. I believe that obviously you have a statistical model and a set of data that you've back tested, you forward tested, you know what works. But at the same time, I can't predict when. I can't control the market conditions. There's conditions that I just don't operate well in. And there's times where I just make small errors or mistakes. Again, only reason I'm saying this is because I know somebody else out there is going through it. Especially as we go into this whole year, man. I mean, you have to keep the long-term vision view. If you blow all your money right now in January, I mean, how the hell are you going to be trading in August, September, November? And I know most people aren't thinking like that because they all have like funded, challenge accounts, and they're just willing to blow them and reset them every 2 seconds. But that's not a good mindset. Technically speaking, where we're at, with Trump speaking, I would be very curious to see what we do today, because I mean, I don't really know. I don't really know what to think of that. I don't know if I should gauge that in terms of looking at it as the Fed speaking ahead of me, or it may not be a whole lot. I mean, it's a red folder, so you have to be aware of it, I guess. Overall, I do believe that we will draw up into this buy-side liquidity here, but when we do that, I don't really know. We could be willing to drop down into this volume imbalance, which is right here. So anytime there's a volume imbalance, liquidity void beneath or above price, especially the fresher, the newer it is, the more likely price is probably willing to draw into it, because it is willing to deliver price into it, right? There's been no delivery of price inside of that gap or that region. So that's the way I would think of it. Oops. Let's go into a 4-hour. And that new day opening gap's right there. So we may want to draw into that. Even if we are biased towards the relative equal highs above price, it may want to draw into that new day opening gap first. Right? Looking at the hourly chart, it's kind of okay. We've slid beneath this buy-side imbalance here on the hourly chart. We've slid beneath that. So that turns into what? An inversion. We're within this imbalance here, and maybe I don't really consider that one higher as much. 15-minute, this is real sloppy. This is yeesh. So we're coming into the session already kind of sideways barcoding. At least I can identify that. A lot of times so far last week and even before that, I'd be entering in and then price goes sideways. Those are very hard conditions to even see incoming. I would rather just wait for more information. I don't really... Let me say this. I could see the idea where we run lower into sell side pre-market and into this previous new day opening gap. That's really the framework of today. I could also see the idea of where we leave that sell side and we run towards the relative equal highs, which are up here. We leave that volume imbalance open. And I do have to look at ES and NQ together. Four-hour breaker. It's a good observation, actually. Thank you, Jafar. So you have a low, a high, a lower low, then you have a higher high here. So that up close candle right there. Take this all away. That right there is your bullish breaker. And that is sitting within the volume imbalance on a daily chart. Right there you can see it. So may want to trade into that before we expand higher. And overall we're looking at these highs. I think that's pretty clear. So we'll just see. This is a very sloppy opening range. I mean, I can already see this going into the open, so that's good. What is that? Yes, remove. Yesterday's first presented FEG, it's quite large. That's what she said. We're gonna keep it on the chart. So we'll keep it there. That's yesterday's right there. Igor, yes, I know, opening range gap. So let's look at, this was Tuesday's opening range gap here. And this is today's. It's trying to load. I don't know why it's not loading anymore. It should be right about here. Where's the text at? Where'd it go? So even if we were to go lower, we could still come back up in this opening range gap by a little bit, 25–50% of it, and then send it lower. And then we'd also be using probably Tuesday's opening range gap as confluence as well, because we still have it from, this is today's low, this was Tuesday's open. This entire area has not been filled in, so that may want to be seeked in confluence, right? So I may put that on. If you guys are just tuning in, if you could like the video, I appreciate it. I'm not going to remember to say it today. So if we were to go lower and try to run for that new day opening gap here, you'd be utilizing Tuesday's opening range gap as kind of like a bias or confluence. And then this is today's opening range gap. Let's go out to our 15-minute chart. Really from like this dealing range high to low. Equilibrium's right here. There's just no inefficiencies or something to work with that price can really, if it's going to dig up inside of a premium, I don't see anything within it really with besides like a 15-minute inversion. So when I'm looking at a premium or a discount, I'm trying to look at, well, is there anything inside of that price can react off of? When I look at a 15-minute chart, you know, if this thing's trying to reach up inside of a premium, well, I'm looking at the most recent swing high, which would be this dealing range high here to low. Equilibrium sitting right there, which we're about to get into. Is there anything within this area that sticks out to you? I don't particularly see anything. I could see a bearish breaker. You have a high, a low, a higher high, then a lower low. So within that premium, there's a little bearish breaker here. It's so-so. I would like an inefficiency or something that sticks out. It's easy. I don't see anything in it. If you go up to a higher time frame, maybe an hourly chart, you see that inefficiency that's right there. So I kind of have to work with it. I would rather just see price get up inside of that premium. If I see a reaction off of it, wants to dive lower, then I may react on it. Hope that makes sense. And then you utilize opening range gaps as confluence. ECG, hope you're good. Can you explain the significance of the 930 F? The first presented FEG is usually the It's not the strongest, but it can be the strongest, or can be utilized days forward. So we can utilize yesterday's as well. Love seeing a lot of my analysis in line. JH, amazing to see. And Islam, yeah, that's what great observation is. Even on the hourly, if there isn't anything on like a 15-minute, a 5-minute within that premium, then yes, you have to use multiple time frame analysis and gauge where that's at. If they're all layered within each other, that's also a good high probability thing to look at. So I may just leave this on. Let's go to the 4-hour. I mean, this is a really easy range to sit out of currently. Yes, that's your first presented FEG here. Diamond closed candle, dropped into a bullish order block. We may send it above the buy side, but again, we could just be sending it into that premium. And I'll be watching yesterday's first presented, the reaction there, and then maybe see a dive back lower into the sell side down here. Or maybe not. I'm just going to put this out there. If you never take an external low and price runs higher, and you're like, well, we created relative equal lows, right? These are relatively equal. You have to also look within it. Price took out an internal sell side. So all the internal sell side, it took it right before the open or right at the open, and we could extend higher. It could just keep running higher. Do I believe that today? Currently, no. But if things start to pan out to where price just keeps pressing higher, bullish-wise, and you're trying to understand, well, how do I know if it's going to leave the relative equal lows or not? Well, look within it. Did it have a raid within the internal sell side? And that should help at least as far as bias. I mean, I used to never pay attention to internal sell side or buy side raids, and I think that helps a lot as far as gauging whether or not sell side relative equal lows will be taken or not taken. I'm really not in love with the breaker. I don't absolutely love it. Well, we'll just see what happens in here. If you're just reading this order flow down here, bullish breaker here. Down close candle here we dropped into, extended higher. dropped into this discounted bullish order block. First presented FEG. We're not coloring. See, the bodies are closing within it. It's a good sign. We'll probably send it above the buy side, but at this point, I don't really know for certain. I mean, we're just getting into the macro. Morning, Glenn. How are you? If we take a look at ES, ES is making a significant kind of higher high above, let's say right around midnight's high. Let's look at, this may be a lot, but this is midnight open here and 8:30 opens down here. So as far as a bullish perspective, we're actually in a really nice discount, right? If you're looking to buy it, you want price beneath a discount. Give me 1 second. Excuse me, I needed Rotos. Oh. Vigo, what's up? We are indeed. Oh, it feels much better. Anybody link me good blue light glasses? I need those ASAP. Like, actually ones that look good. Look good on stream, and they actually work. Glenn, no, I'm the furthest you can get in Florida, basically, so I'm still cold. It's cold out here. Night mode. Yeah, but then doesn't that change like the color of everything? And then people are gonna bitch about it. Glenn, I'm basically in Naples, Florida. That's basically where I'm at. How do I change that? Night light. Whoa. Does that change your guys' screen color? I don't even know how to look at this. This is really weird. I feel like I'm on a psychedelic looking at this. Same. Did I turn orange, dude? This is weird. Yeah, I turned the night mode on. It actually helps. I guess I don't have to make the strength that much. It does help my eyes, dude. Well, anyways, I know I'm being a distraction. There isn't much in here so far. I would just make note of how ES has really made that significant higher high. So look at ES, this high at midnight, or right around midnight. ES is above that. It's quite strange looking. I don't know, this is weird. So then you go over to NQ. Midnight opens right there. So we're nowhere near it. Glenn, yep. I mean, I'm not directly in it, but I'm right near it. It's beautiful. I love it out here. I just moved like 3 months ago. So we left the relative equal highs. We've snapped lower. And this is where people are trying to make, trying to make decisions, or my younger self would try to be making decisions in here on, well, price has got to trade to the buy side or the sell side eventually. And it's like, I mean, yes, it does, but how much capital are you willing to spend until it gets there? I mean, you could be placing multiple trades until it finally gets there and you end up losing. That's the struggle of trying to be right. You end up losing so much money and you eventually end up being right, but is it worth the mental spending to get there? Like this type of inefficiency on a 1 minute chart, I don't trust that in the condition that we're in. I mean, this could work. This could work and send it to the lows down here, but I'm not willing to spend the money to see if it's going to work, because I don't know if it's going to. People call that, whatever it may be, fear of entering, or something. That's called being logical of thinking. Like, there's clear buy side liquidity here with clear sell side. Could this work? It very well could. And if it does, I won't feel any type of way about it. It also could dance around in here and do absolutely nothing, and you've spent all this money trying to figure out whether or not it's going to go to the buy side or sell side. Man, I don't care which one it trades to. Eventually it will. I don't know which one. But this is just an easy, low probability environment. I mean, if you're able to spot this before the open, I mean, it's pretty easy to stay out of. Price is not doing anything. It's trending sideways. I mean, to me, it's very easy to at least spot. The hard part is when you enter into price right before it goes into something like this, which I've done multiple times over the last couple weeks, is where I just can't see that income. I can't see consolidation incoming. But if I'm able to see it before the market even opens, I mean, that's pretty damn easy. Yeah, and that would be, if you went short, you're cooked. You're done. But that's a younger student, I think, in my eyes. I mean, seeing that inefficiency, whatever it may be, and it's like, you see the drop lower. It's not willing to go higher. It's got to go lower now, right? Well, not necessarily. It's sideways. It's not doing anything. I think I made this analogy last year. It's like if somebody only told you could take, like, let's say 3 trades this week. They put a gun to your head. You can only take 3 trades. It's got to be the best trades this week. You definitely wouldn't be looking at that and saying, well, that's one of the best trades that I could be taking this week. I mean, I'm personally looking at it. I personally don't think it is. So you have to look at it through that perspective. It's like, obviously there's not a gun to your head, but you want to be looking at the lens through, well, I should really be trying to place my trades on the best, highest probability that I possibly can, observe and look at. And that's an easy one. I mean, there's times where there's a really sound model, it looks well, and then it doesn't work. That's fine. Let's take a look at the 15-second chart here. 15-second gives a little bit more structure right now, even though I'm not saying to be trading it, but you can see it a little bit better in here. All we're doing is getting upside of that premium. If you guys are just tuning in, it looks like there's about 200 of you guys in here. If you could like the video, I'd really, really appreciate it, man. If you guys could get me to 100. So we've worked away from this premium imbalance. We've displaced lower. IOFED this inefficiency right here. Now, I do favor lower prices overall. I do favor it. We got up inside of the first presented FEG right there. We may just dive off lower from here. This is, again, the 15-second presented first. Do we leave this as a breakaway, or do we come up into it? It's a nice reaction in here, to be honest. It's really, really is. Is there SMT on the chart? Yes. If you look at midnight, ES is above midnight, or did get above midnight. Well, NQ failed to do so. If it's going to seek lower prices, it should be willing to respect this inefficiency here. But the reason I'm very hesitant is the range that we're in. I'm very, very hesitant. I'm waiting to see the reaction kind of out of it. I'm going to see if this 15-second first presented and that inefficiency is going to support price. At least want to see a snap to this sell side there. It should stay beneath this inefficiency here if it's going to seek lower prices, which it didn't. These conditions are just, they're something, man. And a very low resistance liquidity run signature, man. I mean, that's just such an easy sell. I mean, it wasn't a lot of handles, but I mean, this is what I mean. If you're executing a model perfectly fine and conditions are just not where they seem, man, I mean, you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, but I can't predict when these conditions are going to be like this, man. I mean, am I aware of the sideways movement we're in? Yes, but eventually we're going to take the sell side. When? I don't know. I mean, if it's going to seek lower prices, this 15 seconds should support it lower. Am I enter off of it? No. So I don't know if I'm going to do anything with this today. I mean, after that, there's just no reason to sit here and try to gamble money away. it's not worth to sit in it and spend money to try to figure out which side's going to be correct. I mean, either we're going to run for the buy side here or sell side. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, this is probably the worst fucking month I've seen, man. I mean, January is typically known as that, but I mean, it's pretty awful, man. It's mentally taxing. It really is. At least for me personally. Yeah, I mean, Gabriel, you could still trade these conditions. I'm not saying currently, it's very aimless, but there's times where the reason I was executing is because we're basically still within the macro, and at this point I'm believing that we're going to snap to the sell side. And then it just reverses and goes barcoding again. So, I mean, there's nothing you can really do about that, man. I mean, you can sit out of it entirely. I missed a lot of great moves doing that as well, though. Yeah, I mean, it really has been, man. It's very mentally taxing. It's especially live streaming. It's just mentally where you have to really keep calm, or you really have to either step away from the charts. You have to do a lot of journaling during these periods, or be in the understanding that, hey, if I'm losing, or if I'm going through drawdown, or if I'm going through losing streaks, you really have to be paying attention to emotions, because you can snap immediately. You get blown in a second. I've done it plenty of times. Like, you know, I'll be calm for a couple losses, and then after that third, fourth, fifth one, whatever it may be in a row, and I'm in a condition like this, I just eventually blow the fuck up, and I just start losing it. You have to look at that very closely. That's called accumulated emotions. You're just accumulating emotions over and over again. How do you solve that? Well, you have to be journaling every single day, or at least looking at it, paying attention to it, aware. If you're not even aware of it, then that's going to blindside you. John, most definitely. Do I think it could do something with Trump? I mean, again, he hasn't been president in like whatever 4 years. So wasn't really trading at the time with him, and I don't remember how his speeches went, like as far as impacting the market. I have no idea. I take it as if like the Fed speaking almost. Retail patterns working better in January. It's been like that for 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, overall, January is not. This is why ICD does place emphasis on trading February. But a lot of New York sessions this week have been very, very consolidated, very difficult to work with. PM sessions have been better. All these things, man. I mean, this is where people either give up on the concepts, they give up on themselves, they give up on whatever it may be. But nobody said trading was supposed to be that easy, man. It's not. I mean, you're going to go through periods like this. I've been through periods like this. Every time it's not fun. Every time doubt, uncertainty, fear. A lot of things creep into my brain, but I have to remember the things that I've done exceptionally well. And the times that I've been in these conditions and everything clears up eventually and I go back to where I was at. It may not seem like it in the moment. It may like seem like forever, especially when it's a couple weeks on end or even a month long. It feels like forever, man. It's like, dude, when the hell is the market going to give me something that I'm used to? You just have to be patient. Again, we don't make these conditions. You just have to submit to it. So maybe we'll just don't trade at all. Well, I also don't know when it's going to come out of it. So I have to execute on the things that I know work and have worked and just keep going with it. But currently after that, it's completely aimless. I mean, at this point, when we had this drop lower reaction off the first presented, we had another drop lower. That's a continuation model. I'm looking for a continuation of the sell side and run for the sell side lower. I was also being very cautious and waiting for the reaction off the sell side imbalance and then going down to a 15-second chart and executing there with a little bit lower risk. That still didn't work. So at that point, man, this is completely aimless. I ain't touching it. In a normal market condition, where prices, let's say, not aimless, man, that's a beautiful model. Beautiful continuation model. You've already seen that you've had this displacement lower. You see reaction off of a premium, drops lower, makes another shift in market structure. Premium imbalance. Even if you want to wait for that premium imbalance to be met and that trades away from it, like we did on the 15-second, it forms a 15-second inefficiency. You also have the first presented. That's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful ass model right there. And short right on the sell side. Easy low-hanging fruit. That's an easy, beautiful model. Again, in aimless conditions, it's not going to work. It's going to get completely ran the fuck over. And then you're left with a loss. And you're sitting there like, well, does the model work? Does the model work? Does the concepts work? Well, of course it works. It's just the condition. But I've blown so much money in these conditions to where after that there's no reason to keep trading. The best, smartest decision is to do nothing. It's better to lose one finger than the whole hand. So as some gamblers would say. And here, all I do is just read price. I mean, nothing really means anything. I'm just reading it. Okay. Yeah, at times you're not losing just a hand, you're losing the whole body. I mean, look at this hourly chart. We've done nothing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours now. I've lost 3% of my funded account the past 2 weeks. Do you think that's controlled drawdown? Yeah, that's very easy. That's very easy to come back from. It really is. So there's going to be trades where you're hitting, 2% a trade, a couple times in a row, and it's like, holy shit, I'm back above drawdown and back into, I'm 3% profit, and it'll happen just like that. It may not feel like it. It'll happen. As long as you follow the protocols. The only way you're going to screw it up is if you get emotionally charged and you start doing dumb shit, revenge trading, tilting, trying to get your money back, trying to be right. You're not following the system. Trust me, I've done it. Or you over leverage and you get lucky and then you can make the money back and you think you did a good job, but that's not. You're literally putting yourself backwards. Oki, probably, man. I mean, this is all very aimless currently. You should play Minesweeper. What's Minesweeper? Let me look it up. What is this? I've tried looking at that Oki. I don't understand it. Maybe I'm just dumb and stupid. If you take a look at ES, that's very suspect. That's yesterday's first presented 5 minute. We got up into again above this high here at midnight. ES is way above that. Oops. Yeah, I would agree. We're probably have to wait till Trump speaks. I mean, we're getting a little too close to where I would even want to execute and be in it. We'll watch this very closely. Because if ES makes a lower low here, it's probably going to set off some type of bullish divergence. Can I play him talking on here? Probably. Let me see. Let's just watch, see if ES takes the lows in here. I mean, still with all the sell side underneath that. Okie, how do you play this thing? Oh, can you see it or not see it? Should be able to see it. I don't understand. Did I really just hit the only mine? This game is for old people. Hear that, Okie? You're an old school person. Did I lose? Motherfucker. Okay, I see how this works. Okay. I can't even win at this thing either. Okay. Okay. Alright, this is enough of this stupid ass game. I've had enough of that. Don't ever recommend that game to me. Looks like we just got above the buy side liquidity there. Can you play something else where you don't have to use your brain? Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how to play the game, so it looks like we just stabbed up into the buy side there. With us becoming this close to Trump speaking, I would be very weary. So even though there's relative equal lows down here, remember we've already taken internal sell side here, and then drop down into here. Could just keep expanding. ES still hasn't made a higher high alongside NQ, so that's interesting. Jake, well, I think I'm done with that game forever. What's the noise behind you? I don't hear anything. Might be my music in my headset. So are you mad about this move? Are you mad about missing the move? I mean, this is what I mean by you're going to spend a whole bunch of money trying to figure out when this thing's going to eventually break out of it, rather than just either leaving it alone or you take a loss and you just kind of sit out of it. You just wait. It's not worth losing all your money trying to figure out when that thing's going to break out. You knew one side or the other was going to be traded to. Does anybody know a game that I can shut my brain off until at least 11 a.m.? That I don't know. Twitter's usually my game. I just scroll Twitter. Minecraft, yeah. CJTRADES, first time here. How's it hanging? It's hanging today. We're hanging out. Giveaway. What? There ain't no giveaway, dog. That's actually funny, dude. It just spams giveaway. Why, when I'm on demo, I have so good read on price, but when I know up. PMX, are you asking like the difference between live accounts and demo? Like you're having different results? I mean, it's mainly due to emotions. Your emotions are gonna start affecting your decision making. There's something in the line. There's something to lose. Only way through that is just to keep trading your live account. Keep getting used to the emotions and become comfortable with it. Eddie, yeah, that was Minesweeper. Oki recommended it. Nikki, yeah, I mean, as far as live accounts versus demo, I mean, obviously there's a huge difference. There's something on the line. And it's not just money. I mean, if you go in the mental game of trading, there's a list of things that you have on the line that's not actually physical as far as money. I mean, your goals, your dreams, your reputation, what your family and friends think of you, your progression, your own self-worth. A lot of things are on the line besides just money. And that's why all of us, when we lose, or fear getting into the market, because a lot of things are on the line besides just losing money. Jordy, you guys think he's probably going to have a crazy speech. I do want to watch it. He played it in 1993. Am I looking for shorts? I'm not particularly looking for anything. As we get close to something like Trump speaking, I'm very on edge of doing anything with price, especially the condition that we've been in all morning. We haven't done a whole lot. I'd rather just wait for whatever. If Trump speaks and something comes into fruition, I'll be maybe willing to trade it, but we'll just have to see. What did we kind of trade up into? I didn't have this marked out, but that's your bearish breaker there. All week, yeah, I mean. I got you, Eddie. Always good to see you in here. Let me go to Discord. He invited all of you to the Telegram. What is this? Okay, that's a different Telegram than the one I have. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, dude. All those commentaries and things like in the past, he's only doing it because people are reselling it. But you guys don't need to watch that. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean you can, but to be watching like things in reverse like years ago, as far as like a commentary, it's much better to be like in the moment that day and then sit down that night. Like that's the reason why he doesn't care to release those, and I don't give a shit. I mean, I paid for the mentorship, but that was the point. Might quit futures and become a meme coin trader. Brother, I'm right there with you. People are making crazy percents. Ali, I saw your message. How much did I pay for it? I mean, it was like 150 every month or something. I don't know. At the end of the year, it was like $1,200 or something. Doesn't matter now because it's all out there anyways. Everything I paid for is now public. El Tito, yeah, it was like 200 or something. Maybe it was like $1,500 for the whole year. I forget. I mean, it was cheap in comparison to what was given to me. I'm not complaining. That's before he became mainstream. So, I mean, you may see moves happening right now, but I don't know what to expect from Trump. I don't know what the hell's going to happen, to be honest with you, so I'm not willing to put money behind that before it happens. But if it means me missing a move, then so be it. It is what it is. Bryanus, what's up? Ross, Trump will pump the market? I bet he will. We got about 8 more minutes. We'll see what he does. Ross, didn't ICD say you would get off Twitter if Bitcoin at 100K? Yeah, he did, but he said he'd delete his YouTube channel. Obviously, he ain't doing that. He's a crazy man. Can't respect a liar, right? Yeah, I mean, I also, I've been around him long enough. I really don't care what he says. I just care what he has to teach, to be honest. I mean, I've been around him for so long, or at least watching him for so long, that he's a very polarizing personality. I also think his bipolar does not help him. But yeah, I mean, I really don't care. Like he said a lot of things. Said he was going to win Robin's. I don't care. I don't. At the end of the day, the concepts work extremely well. So exactly, Jordy. Ross, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're still responsible for your actions. I'm sure it doesn't help. Oh my goodness. I just want to see what this Trump thing does. We'll see. Ross, of course, appreciate you. I could maybe try to put them up on the screen. I'll see. But I really don't care what he has to say. I just want to see what happens to the market. I'm going to try to find it. See if I can find something. I'm sure it's on YouTube, right? So since we're already inside of this premium here, and if you look at your 15-minute chart, that bearish breaker, we're within the first presented FEG of yesterday after taking buy side. This could give way to lower prices, but I have no idea what to expect in the next 2 minutes with him speaking. I don't even know if it's going to be one of those direct impact news event drivers where directly at 10 o'clock, or it may be delayed because of him speaking. I don't really know what to expect. Yes, looking at it, you took Viagra, yeah. I mean, overall, if you look at the higher time frame order flow, we're very, very bullish, so you have to remember that. Especially ES, it's the stronger one. It's very, very bullish, so. See higher prices out of this, I won't be surprised. Especially if we leave the sell side down here. Wouldn't be surprised. We filled in about 50% of the current opening range gap of today. If we were to head higher, then we'd be looking at basically midnight opens high there and the rest of the opening range gap. Really, if we get up above the first presented FEG from yesterday and we get basically through the mean threshold, close above the mean threshold, this bearish breaker, then I would say it's probably sold that we're going to run for this high up here. And if you remember, go out to your 15-minute chart, that's midnight open here. So we've dropped way inside of a discount, setting the low of the day, and we could potentially run higher. So there's 11 o'clock. Again, with people speaking, even with the Fed speaking, sometimes it's not direct. It's not like a direct impact on the market. You have to kind of wait. But sometimes it does nothing. So. ES is really climbing higher. They're a bit coupled currently. Ali, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. I do believe we're going to start seeing some higher prices out of this, so. Five-minute bullish order block here. We'll be aiming at basically this high up here. But remember with him, I mean, with anybody speaking, it can be very, very wild. ES is real high up there. If we're going to see higher prices, this inversion should be treated as obviously an inversion respected higher. Jody, I appreciate it, brother. Good to have you in here. I'd say we're a pretty chill group. If you're just reading this 1 minute, your bullish order block displaced higher, dropped into the mean threshold. We got above the inversion fair value gap or sell side imbalance, and now it's treated as an inversion. We could extend up above yesterday's first presented. We've utilized this 5 minute bullish order block. ES is a lot higher, it's leading it. So I want to see if we're willing to extend out of this. This down close candle, the 5 minute propulsion block technically. I didn't know you could shift B to buy and shift S to sell. Interesting. I guess it's a hotkey or something. So I'm going to try this inversion here. I like the reaction. 5 minute bullish order block. ES is leading it. Well, that's some volatility in there, huh? Micro contracts way lower. I may adjust it underneath this low here. Bullish order block can be the last line of defense there. That's it for me, man. I can't get anything correct lately, man. It's just a shit show. I don't know. That might be like 4, 5, or 6 losses in a row. I'm gonna be completely honest. That's a lot for me, man. Like that's more than I've probably have experienced in a long time. Like, just being honest. How do you deal with that? You move away from the charts. I mean, I'm just being honest. It's only option. One thing I don't get is how ICT works in discount range. Sometimes, yeah, it just depends. Price going to be utilizing something or not. So yeah, that's going to be it for me, man. I mean, there's nothing else I can really say. I'm not going to sit on here and try to force anything else. It just is what it is. So I may take tomorrow off. I may something like that, man. I mean, it has not been a good week for me. So I'll probably see. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. But till then, have a good day, everybody. Peace out. Be safe. Don't do dumb things.